In today's episode, I'll be giving my review and reaction and recap of the sixth episode in season one of Star Wars The Acolyte for the episode titled Teach Slash Corrupt. So let's jump right into the episode.
Do something, man. People are questioning you. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, yep, do that. Sure, guys. Stupid and dumb. Just an idiot. Get your shit together, son. Fuck it. I loved it. Welcome to the dub cast.
Coming off last week, I was pretty down on the show. Looking through social media and seeing everyone else's reaction, it seems like people actually enjoyed last week a lot. They liked all the lightsabers, all the nonsense that happened. So I don't know, maybe there's some sort of disconnect. I liked the first couple episodes, everyone fucking hated them. No, I didn't like the last episode, but everyone was like, oh, this show is actually kind of good. Obviously, there are the people out there who like any type of Star Wars show and will be willing to not hold this show accountable for not being good, and they'll just say no matter what that it was good. So those people's opinions don't count. You got to figure out who they are, weed them out of their opinion. But all things considered, this week brought me back a bit just for some interesting plot points that occur, but I felt like things happened a little too fast, developed a little too fast, but we'll jump into that. I also felt like this episode is mostly filler. For the last two episodes, I'm not really sure even what. I mean, some stuff did happen this episode, but it was all felt like setup, which is fair because coming off of last week, you imagining that they have 3 episodes left of the show, you're like, wow, how are they going to do all that? But then they just give you like a boring episode here where like nothing totally of note happens. It's more just filler and setting up for the last 2 episodes. So yeah, didn't think that this episode was the strongest of the series in my opinion. Mostly just storyline building, world building, plot building, but I didn't think it was terrible either. I was decently captivated through it. So let's jump right in. So coming off last week, we had the old switcheroo, which is called Parent Trap. Apparently, I'm not familiar with that, but I saw a meme on TV Time. Shout out to TV Time. But yeah, so Parent Trap, where you switch kids and they don't know because they look the exact same. So we left off with Osha going with Kymir, the Sith Lord, quote unquote. Turns out he's a Sith, and the Kylo Ren theme music played behind him. So that's something to watch moving forward, I guess. I've been saying that a lot lately. Sorry. So yeah, Osha's with Kymir, and May gets herself a haircut with the lightsaber, which pissed people off. I didn't really have a problem with it, but she gives herself a haircut with the lightsaber, and she's gonna go with Soul. So we kind of have this dichotomy of Soul being with May and not knowing it, and Kymir knows he's with Osha, but she doesn't know where she is at the start. But May knows that she's with Soul. So we start this episode out with Osha. She's on an island by herself, and I was like, "What? Did he just dip and leave her there?" Gave her a nice setup. She had nice dinner and stew, and she chugged some sort of liquid. Nice little scenic island. There's nice waves there. So yeah, remembering from episode 1 or 2, this is where we see actually Kymir in his helmet then when we didn't know who he was in May. So this is their little layer where Kymir is going to try and train Osha now. It seems like this is where he trained May. So we're back on this island again. I'm not sure what it's called. I think they just actually said it was called Unknown Island. So yeah, that's basically our opening scene. And jumping into the credits. Now we switch to May, and she is trying to help Soul run the ship. They're out of power, and she goes up to his thing, and she's gonna kill him with a knife. And I'm like, what's the fucking point in this? He's the only Jedi left. You could have done that on the island. You could have done it walking the ship. You could have done it on the ship already. What is the point in waiting for this shit? So I didn't really feel like that was a valid threat. I didn't love that scene at all. Her just pulling out the knife, and then he's just sitting there like, first of all, he'd probably sense it coming because he's a Jedi and they couldn't fucking sense that shit. But I don't know, it didn't feel like she was ever gonna actually go through with that because she could have just done that like a while ago. So thought that scene was a little stupid. Anyways, we got Bazil, the they character. Sorry guys, running around the ship and just basically going fucking batshit in this episode. He's obviously gonna uncover this eventually. Well, actually, he doesn't really actually do it, but he's kind of putting the pieces together, trying to take little things, and you can't really tell what he's thinking because he just speaks in fucking some language that no one understands. But yeah, Basil is a part of this episode, and we'll talk about him a little bit later more. But right at the beginning, he's kind of scheming around, trying to figure things out. So he's going to play a big part later. Flashing back to Osha and Kymir, my man's got a big ass scar on his back. If you know any type of show where there's a scar on the back, that usually means a backstory. We get Kymir's backstory later about how his quote unquote Jedi Master did that to him and left him for dead, and I have my suspicions on who that is. I think it's either the green-haired bitch or green-headed bitch, who I will just call that now because I don't like her, or Soul. I lean towards green-headed bitch because she's got some like uptight shit about this, so maybe she knows. Soul just seems to have fucked up on the planet. Those are my theories. I think Soul just fucked up on the planet. He might have killed a couple of the witches because they like turned on him or something, and I think the green-headed girl was Kymir's master, and then she like threw him for dead because she's been kind of like low-key involved but not too involved. So getting that reveal where she was kind of snarky this episode to a character we'll talk about in a second, but yeah, I think she's the one who left that scar on him, left him out of the order, or pushed him out of the order. I don't know, whatever the term is, but that's my theory. I think it's the green-headed girl. What do you guys think? Who do you think was the Jedi Master? Do you think he'll reveal it? Do you think it was just somebody random? I guess we'll find out. So he is just going to go skinny dipping for no reason, which was kind of respectable. I appreciated that for him. So yeah, not really sure why he just went skinny dipping by himself. Was this a plan? Is he trying to romantically connect to Osha? I don't know. Maybe he likes the way they look. I don't know. It's weird play there, but she gets his lightsaber and is going to pull up on him, and he's like, come on, fucking kill me, but obviously she's not going to do it. Jedi don't kill unarmed people. He's like, you're not going to do it because you're a Jedi. I know I can read your mind, even though he's not actually mind reading. He says that, but weird scene with him skinny dipping. I don't know why that was necessary either, but so be it. It happens. So next we go back to Soul and May, and he's going to try and have this emotional moment about how she saved him and saved the Jedi basically, but she ain't feeling that shit because it's May, not Osha, so she's like, I don't give a fuck, which probably should be your first sign, Soul, that you're not with Osha. I don't know how he didn't figure this out until now, but come on, bro. Lock in. Now we go to our green-headed bitch, and there's a Jedi guy named Mog, and you cannot fucking make this up, because if anyone goes on TikTok or knows fucking brain rot, I'm sorry that I have to talk about this, but when you introduce a character named Mog in 2024, like, what are you doing, bro? I don't even know what Mog is. It's like something with looks maxing. I don't fucking know. No, that's mewing. I don't know. It's some brain rot term, mogging. Maybe I'll get canceled for this, but I don't know. Really, bro, there's a million fucking names you can make of Jedi, and you're picking Mog. It's so funny. I was geeking when this guy came up on the scene, and they say it again, so they're just double downing on it. So good for Mog. He's the new Yord. He's just the green-headed bitch, basically, and just does whatever she says. So he's the one who's like, hey, we got him on the comms. We got Soul on the comms, but he ain't coming through. Looks like his whole team's dead. Blah, blah, blah. Flashback to Kymir and Osha, and he's already slowly swaying her to join the dark side with him. Yeah, this was obviously going to happen. I feel like this was the part of the episode I was talking about. This went by way too fast. She goes from being a part of the Jedi and having Jedi principles to just switching by the end of the episode into wanting to be a Sith. So obviously not predictable, so I'll give them props for doing that, but I don't know, this felt a little too fast. He's just like, hey, you have anger, use it. And she's like, okay, yep, that sounds good, I'll do that. So now she's going to be a Sith, or training the Sith at the end of the episode, but I could see halfway through the episode, like, she's going to eventually go. She's already fucking falling for everything. So come on, Osha, have thicker skin, bro. Moving on to... Oh yeah, she gets mad about him killing Yord, and Yord is a fucking dickhead, especially to you. He was a fucking asshat. Mostly in the scenes with Osha, he was a fucking dickhead, asshat clown. So I don't know what you're feeling bad about. I guess, I mean, death is tragic, obviously, no matter what, but Yord, I would not be like holding my head over. And then she brings up Jackie, which I guess she was in love with Jackie, so good for them. They maybe could have made two babies that were twins, and then one of them is good, one of them's bad, and piss off the Star Wars fans again. But Jackie's dead, so she's pissed. And Kymer makes a good point. Like, you couldn't have gone anywhere with that. She's a Jedi, so they can't have emotions, they can't have relationships, which is the stupidest fucking thing. But anyways, so yeah, that confirms Osha had a crush on Jackie, bro. Which wait, isn't Jackie a kid? Timeout. Anyways, I guess I'll just leave it right there. So basically, he's like, "Hey, why'd you leave the Jedi?" And she's like, "I just left." And he's like, "Okay, yeah, no, that's not true." And then they're on this little cliff, this like edge of the thing. He's like, "Just kill me right now, do it." And she doesn't do it, but then he gets her all pissed off by saying, "You failed." And she's like, "I failed," and then gets mad and like ignites a lightsaber, puts him in a arm bar with the lightsaber right there, so you can tell right away this is where this is going. She goes into anger mode. Um, Back to our green-headed bitch, and she's actually gonna fucking finally do something and move off her fucking planet and her little planning station. She gets sick in hyperspace. How is this woman a Jedi, bro? She hasn't done fucking jack shit this whole season. She just sits there and orders people to do stuff. So finally, sorry, you gotta get off your ass and go do something. But she's like, it's personal. I gotta go do it. So good for you. Um, Soul in this episode is realizing that he's got a dark past. Well, the audience realizes that he actually does have this dark past. It's been floated. We don't really know what it's about. I'm very eager to learn what this dark past is or what he did in the past that was wrong. I guess we'll find out. May is like, hey, he's actually kind of bad, and she calls the comms, but he shocks her before she can finish calling them. So that's where we leave off with them. Basically, is May is captive of Soul. So I don't know what's up with Soul. Thought he was a good guy. I think he's my favorite character in this series so far. So really interested to see where that storyline ends up at least. I have to say about fucking Basil, and like this is what I'll go on from earlier. His fucking music is horrible, bro. It's like some fucking like kid shit. Like you're gonna sell the Basil toys no matter what. This is bullshit. Stop doing this fucking lighthearted music. It's annoying as fuck. Um, Sorry for cussing, but no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, please stop playing that music. It just ruins the episode and pisses me off. So that's my number one complaint after this episode. So go back to Green-Headed Bitch. They've landed on the planet. She senses the Umbra Moth or whatever the fuck it's called coming. And she whips out her purple whip, which was sick. So she has a whip, a light whip, I guess is what they call it. I'm not really familiar with the lore of that, but I'm eager to see her fucking use that shit. That was cool. So she like whips back, kills the moth back there. Cool scene from her. So finally she gets off her ass and kills the moth. Good job. And you have a light whip, so you're instantly more cool. So back to Soul. He's got May strapped on the bed in captivity, and he's like, "You're gonna listen to my past. I've just waited for this moment to tell you, but now you're gonna listen." So should be hearing the story of Soul and what he did wrong now next episode. That's where I thought they were gonna leave the episode, but nope. We have one more scene, and it's Osha, and she's going to kind of pet the helmet that Kymir had, and then eventually puts it on and starts breathing in it. So shades of Darth Vader breathing. Yeah, so that's where we end the episode off. Osha has gone full dark side. May is actually in the middle, I'd say. She kind of has unclear intentions right now. I don't really know what her game plan is. Maybe both twin sisters team up evilly. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, we've got 2 episodes left. Kind of excited to see where this thing ends up, man. I like that the episodes aren't too long, so it's not really a pain in the ass to watch. It's only like 35 minutes, so I'm gonna sit down and watch these last 2. Are you guys out in this series? I know a lot of people quote unquote quit, but it seems like after last week, a lot of you guys came back and liked it. So let me know what you guys have been thinking of this series so far. Would you want a season 2? Well, I guess maybe this was only a limited series. I don't know. I'm really interested to see what happens in these last 2 episodes, even if it's just for the memes of everything. But yeah, so that'll wrap up my recap and review of it. With tradition, I will give my favorite and least favorite characters of the episode, or favorite and least favorite character. So favorite character goes to Kymir. He basically just grills Osha by like being, I don't even know how to describe it, but he's like has a clear goal of wanting to make her join the Sith, and he just easily does that throughout one episode. It was probably like 12 hours of time in the episode of him just converting her. So good job in being a boss and how you speak to her and just converting her pretty easily. And you got yourself a Sith Padawan. You need another one now because he wants to do the rule of two. So favorite goes to Chimere. Least favorite, I'm going to give to Osha. Just gives up on her morals instantly. I thought you were better than that. You're supposed to be a Jedi, but fall to the anger too quickly and just throw your morals out the window. So, okay, that'll wrap it up. Least favorite goes to Osha. So that'll wrap it up for Acolyte. As I mentioned before, I'll be covering these last two episodes on the horizon for the Dubcast. Two podcasts come to mind for the short term. Obviously, House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 4, Dance of the Dragon. So that'll be really interesting. I'm excited to watch this House of the Dragon episode on Sunday. And we'll be having a guest on to talk NBA free agency whenever things kind of die down, which they've already kind of have. But so yeah, we'll do an NBA off-season recap. Maybe shoot the shit about that. But I don't know. As always, appreciate you guys tuning in for Acolyte. We'll be covering the last two episodes if you gave up on this series. So as always, keep it easy.